And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and welcome to September the 1st. Which day is it that is officially, it becomes fall? Is it in September? The autumn change? Is it later in the month, like the 20th or 22nd? I can't remember it, but I know that's up in the upcoming months. This is going to be a long weekend for a lot of folks as we'll move into Labor Day weekend. Most will have Monday off. There will be a few essential people that have to go regardless. We all know that. It does happen each year. But it is a chance to have an extra day off for the majority of the people as we head into this weekend, and it looks to be a wet one. It's going to rain. It's going to rain. We've got all that in your details coming up this morning as we look at the forecast of what's happening. Also, as we look to the waters, the Atlantic. There's a couple of them out that are trying their best to become the first hurricane named out there. We have one that's already a tropical depression 5. It'll stay away from us. That's the good part. We all know each year one will make its way to the Gulf. It just hasn't done that yet, and we'll get into all of that. How are you? So many of you already up and at 'em today. Good to see you there. Hickory, Pat, Tiffany Allen. How in the world are you doing? Good to see you again. Did I hear you were getting married? I think I heard that. Congratulations there. William Myers, also Clarence, is up and at 'em. I guess you're still in Texas. Be careful out there. I do hope everyone has a blessed day as we begin this. As we start today, let's look at a few things that are going on. First, let's look at radar, a quick glimpse of what we've got. We got to go all the way to North Mississippi as we visit Meridian Honda radar to find any fog this morning. And this will be at Corinth. Right there at the Mississippi-Tennessee state line is where we've got fog this morning. If you're having to go north of Tupelo, Highway 45, those areas, please be careful in there. You'll encounter a little bit of fog there. Also, a little bit over in Georgia near Anniston. And as you get up to the Carolinas, it's always something going on up here. As we get to Charleston, West Virginia, look at that. Those hills, it's a bunch there. Ain't nothing flat about West Virginia, is it? Get you in that John Denver mood. We also have some showers making its way down to Florida. And, well, across Texas, there looks to be some more thunderstorms happening in Oklahoma City. Nothing major today as we look at this. I've looked at the outlying scan for the next 3 days for severe weather, and not really anything popping up. We got a chance of rain happening over the weekend, but nothing severe. That's the good news as we start today. All right, let's look at a few things that are happening in and around the U.S. Nighttime talk shows. It's kind of hard for me to watch and always has been from my former career back when I was in radio. You have to kind of go to bed at a decent time to get up at 3:30 and 4 o'clock as I do now to start looking at what happened overnight. But as always, there's somebody that's king of the nighttime talk shows. Well, for the first time ever that I've ever known this, we've had a change at the helm of this. Most of these guys are liberals, and they push their agenda out there. But Stephen Colbert has been dethroned. Have you seen this? And we go to Fox News to look, and it's shocking where it comes from. Gutfeld. You ever watched him? He is comical. It's a little news, but he is king of the ratings now at night. Shocking, isn't it? Really is. He is funny. He has a group of 4 or 5 people on the show. Check it out sometime, see what you think of that. We did have some reports in the evening hours of, well, people trying to get into people's houses, and we just can't have all that. We would have to go to 34th Avenue, this area right along it here, as we pull this up this morning, just to give you a bird's eye view. In this area here, people trying to break into homes. Now, this is going to be Highland Park. It would be just east of there, this area right here. That happened last night. Also, if you own a business in the College Park area, might be a good thing to start checking things this morning as I'm getting reports of a few back doors that were broken into in the College Park area overnight. As we'll just take a look down through here at some storefronts, just to be on the lookout when you get to work, or if you can get in a little bit earlier this morning. This area right through here, the Twisted Mist area. These areas right here. Check your doors, make sure everything's all right. I do believe we had some visitors in the area last night waiting on official statements as to what might have happened, but something to keep in mind. It's just bad when you work hard to try to make a living and people come try to take advantage of you. And that's all that is. Whether it's your home or your business, it's the same thing. It's your paycheck, how you supply for your family. Just awful, awful, awful. Always somebody wanting to take something that's yours. I don't know where I'm from, but check your businesses in those areas. It's always more that has not been reported. If you encounter that, get in touch with the Meridian Police Department. Let them know about it. We've had an arrest by the Meridian Police Department. They've been busy as usual, as we'll go here to take a look at what we've got. Aggravated assault arrest, as we pull this up from sammedia.network. This is what was sent to us from the Meridian Police Department. As we get into this, the CID division charged Daniel T. Brown with aggravated assault. The shooting took place back at the Pilot truck stop in January of 21. So that's a little over nearly 2 years. Not quite, but that's been a while. His bond's been set at $100,000. Well, at least they got somebody. It took a little while there. That's been a while, hasn't it? I want to remind you of this. These guys do so much, and we'll talk about this morning also. At 8 o'clock, they're good. You just can't eat one. It's worse than eating one Pringles. And I think you'll know what I'm talking about as we talk about our friends in Marion. Now, they're going to be busy. The Peanut Bowl is kicking off today, tomorrow, and Saturday. And these guys, again, do so much for the community of helping out people. The Shriners, I hope you can go by and support them. Now, they're going to be in Meridian here starting at 7 a.m. They'll also, if you'll see the note there, Philadelphia, Louisville, and Laurel. They got $10 bags. They're 3-pound bag Ziploc bags. They got salt and Cajun to choose from for $10. And I'm telling you, some of the best money that you could spend. They know how to do it. I'm telling you, those old peanuts are just, it's like a drug. You just got to go back and get more. You stand there, at least I do. And the sad part is, for years, I didn't try them. I thought, no, I don't want that. They look all moist, and that looks nasty. And all it took was one, and it was all over, and I was hooked. I think y'all have tried them before, too. Janice Bounds, how are you? Lisa Berry's up. Good to see you. Jeremiah Johnson joins us from out of town. Virginia Stokes, good morning. And he is funny. She's talking about Gutfield. Real funny guy there. Becky Coburn, how are you? Good to see you. We did have an accident on Highway 39 yesterday, possibly some injuries with this. And we're seeing this a lot in this area as traffic is kind of congested. Let me pull this up and show you here. Right here underneath the interstate. I don't call this 39, but officially on paper they call this Highway 39. I would really call that area Highway 19 more than I would 39, but it's confusing. This is going to be Crossroads right here. This is I-20 underneath the bridge. When you come up underneath there where it's congestion and work is going on, we had another accident there yesterday. So they had to do some cleanup there and get the cars pulled out of the way. Kind of slowed traffic there for a little while. I don't think it was major injuries, but somebody might have got kind of hurt there for a moment or two. Now, I also wanted to bring this up as we look at things that are going on across America. Let's not forget about our folks from yesterday morning that were involved in a wreck on Highway 15. A very serious accident that happened there yesterday. Held traffic up for quite some time, and it happened just about during this time that we were on the air yesterday morning. As we go back to, let me pull up that map that I've got there of what went on yesterday. I've got it right here in front of me. You know how unprepared this sounds. Well, for some reason I didn't click on the picture. It's not a big picture, but I thought you might want to see this as we pull this up. It was there on Highway 15. This was just north of Union, about 2 miles north of there, where a car with 4 individuals, and I think they were all young ladies, ran off the road and struck a tree. As we dug deeper into this, we would find that 2 of the people would be airlifted to a hospital, and 2 others would be taken by ambulance. That is the last report of condition that I've gotten. So we think about those that were involved in that wreck yesterday, and so many of you talked about that on your way to work yesterday, encountered that. We send out prayers to that family. Hope everybody is okay. We haven't gotten a new update on all of that. Yesterday in Clark County, we go to our friends at Clark County Hot Topics. There was an oil slick on the road. Well, that doesn't sound all that big a deal, does it? Unless it's a 18-wheeler that broke down and all the motor oil ran out. And we look at this. Here's a picture from that scene there. As you'll look, emergency officials had to clean all that up. There's the rig sitting up here. That was a major oil spill. And why do they block the road on this? You come along and your tires hit that, you lose control and have a wreck. So they have to go out, clean these up to where it won't be a boo-boo later. Can you say that? Boo-boo? We're going to go ahead and use it just to be on the safe side. Our friends in DeKalb, Mississippi, And we have to, it's two businesses doing this. First of all, we want to say a big thank you to the Kemper County Sheriffs Department. They are gathering water to take to Jackson, Mississippi. You can drop off your bottled water in between now and September the 8th. They're going to be taking this to the Mississippi Fairgrounds. If you'd like to donate a case of water, whatever extra you can afford to give to the citizens of Jackson, Mississippi, they would appreciate that. And again, that's in Kemper County at the Sheriff's Department. Also, Mississippi Power is going to be donating water to the city of Jackson as we look at this. And boy, it is a complete mess in Jackson right now with the water supply due to the flooding. They've had several issues there. Tate has been on line talking about this. He's held several press conferences. We can all put ourselves in the place of that. They are even trucking in water for baths and for toilets and that type of thing. There's regular drinking water, then there's the other that is needed as well. Got all messed up there. So we hope that will cure itself before long, but they have no due date of going, okay, we're going to have the wells and all of this fixed by this date. It's an unforeseen future and deadline as we look to Jackson, Mississippi. Did y'all hear about this? We go to Lawrence County. Now, this is going to be south of the Meridian area, south of Jackson. The school bus incident yesterday. This could have quickly turned into a lot worse situation than it was. It was a fender bender, but upon the police arrival, someone was DUI, hit a school bus. In the morning. I mean, come on. You have a serious problem if you're drinking before 7 o'clock in the morning. And apparently we've got somebody in the state of Mississippi that has that issue. It was a 94 Nissan Altima, 29-year-old. Had too much to drink early. I think a couple kids were taken to the hospital to be checked out. We do hate that. Brandon, Mississippi. We've got a business owner that has been charged with violating the Clean Water Act violation. You go, well, okay, well, what is all that about? They owned a type of business where they had to dispose of, let's call it like a restaurant has cooking oil and things of that nature. He was distributing it, paying someone to take it somewhere, and they were not disposing of it properly. He's been tied to all of this. No fine has been set yet, but they're going to do that before long. He's been found guilty. Sentencing is coming up. We'll find out what the fine and what they'll do to him. And always check out who you do business with is the moral to that story. And I'm sure by now you've heard this. It was one of the most controversial things that I put out there over the last couple of days is the tax on the federal student loan forgiveness, $10,000 per student. They're helping out there, getting rid of it. Of course, the big talk is, well, I couldn't afford to go to college. Where's my money? Or I went to college and I paid for my own. Or maybe you're a parent and saved for years to pay for your child's college education. You're not getting this money. And a lot of this, and don't take me wrong, and I don't think it's coming from anybody that says that they're not proud of people trying to get an education. I think it stems from universities overcharging outrageous prices these days. And now the taxpayer has to foot the bill on this. Now keep in mind, there's a lot of colleges, and I've heard so many people say this. My child was a great person until they went to college. Maybe they took theology, and their thinking went from here to here. It happens. Before your child goes off to any college, you make sure that they've got a good understanding, because it happens to the best. They go there, and you've got teachers now that, well, don't see eye to eye the way you raise your children, and they try to make them think differently. Now, it gets worse outside the state of Mississippi. Trust me on that. Mississippi, Alabama is pretty normal. We do have a few schools that have some questionable stuff, but the further that you go outside of this, say California, you might even know who your child is when they come back. But Mississippi announcing that, you're going to get taxed on that. They're going to process this as earned income. So Mississippi announcing that it'll be the first one to tax this. You may have different thoughts on all of that than I do, but I've seen it many times where kids go off and, they come back a different person after being there a few months. They're influenced by people that are older than them. It's just, you know where I'm going with that. You can read more about it. It's everywhere. Have you heard about this? We go to Natchez, Mississippi for our next story. And I'm not sure that we've got one. I would have thought it might have been in Biloxi or somewhere, but we're getting a cruise line, and it looks like it's going to be docking in the Natchez area, American Cruise Line. One of its newest ships, the American Symphony, will call Natchez its port of origin. Pretty good there. Didn't know about that. That's news to me. Now, this is a neat thing. How many people of you love to go to Starkville, Mississippi? Bulldog football. Usually pretty good stuff. I went when Dak played. Great game. But I find this rather good because I've seen it in the Meridian area. We've seen it in Jackson, Vicksburg, where people pitch in to clean up. But they had a cleanup day as they get ready for one of the first ball games that are going to be coming to Starkville, and they had a great turnout. 580 people showed up to clean up the city to make it look good as people will be guests in their town. That's a good deal. So I salute Starkville, Mississippi, as all of you showed up to help clean up. That's good. Proud of y'all. It's good to do things as a community and pull together. Let's see here. Oh, we got somebody in Oxford, Mississippi. This would be northwest part of Mississippi. Well, she's been arrested for vehicle theft. Happens a lot. You just ordinarily don't think of ladies going out and stealing cars, do you? Well, it does. I do have a good story. This is one of those feel-good, pull-at-your-heartstrings. There was a meeting in Jackson, Mississippi, actually in Flowood, not long ago, where a local ministry was meeting. They had their table there, and someone talked to the waitress. She had been homeless for about 3 years, and she had just gotten her apartment. They all pitched in and paid her rent for the next year. So that's a pick-me-up, feel-good. Glad for her. She's tickled to death, and they've done a good deed. So proud of them. Always help where you can. Somebody that's really trying to make a difference in the world. So I'm proud of that. Jackson County, and we have to go to the Mississippi Gulf Coast for this story. It's bad, as we just brought up a moment ago, that your car gets stolen. We saw this, and I saw this not long ago, of a man, I think it was right at the Mississippi, Louisiana, and I'll get back to this story, but he pulled up to a Dollar General, left the window cracked of his car, and somebody come along and stole his dog. Well, this time, someone stole the car and the dog. The lady's desperately, and we'll share this a little bit later there, as we talk to our friends in Jackson from Dark Horse Press as they report the story. Big old boy. Let me show you a picture of the pup and her. This is them. They're looking for a dog back. That's him. The car would be nice, but she really would like to have her dog back. And again, that's Jackson County is where all that went down. It happened on August the 18th. So we're, that's been a little few days there. She hadn't gotten her pup back yet. We do hope that turns around and she gets that back. Shad White. Now, I remember when this came out. This was a few weeks back. Y'all remember when Shad White released his report about the fatherlessness? Is that the right word? Fatherlessness? It's a tongue twister. Those without dads in the state of Mississippi and what it costs taxpayers. He spoke on this on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. He caught a lot of flack from a lot of people about that. But at the end of the day, Shad's White. He runs numbers, and as he ran this numbers, he says taxpayers pay $180 million. Last year, they paid that much to house male inmates who grew up in a home without a father. And what he's hinting at is if you grew up without a father in a home, you're more likely to do things that are wrong because you don't have a father figure to direct you in the right direction. There's a lot of figures with this speech of what he's given, and well worth a good read if you get a chance. Shad White trying to make a difference throughout the state of Mississippi, whether it's collecting money that's been taken or setting fine examples. I have to give him credit on that. Have you heard about Dolly? Dolly making headlines yesterday as she is launching a pet apparel company. Well, dress your dogs. And with this, she's going to be helping in Tennessee give back to shelters, dog shelters. That's what it's all about, as she sells some products there to give to shelters to help pets. A good deed. Dolly always just really puts her hands in good things. So we do a thumbs up to Dolly Parton for helping out. I worked with a gentleman in Curtis. I don't know if you're up. He lives in South Mississippi, and he always tickled me. He and I traveled a lot across the United States over a 10-year period together to towns that were unknown to the rest of America. And I'm not real sure they knew they were there. Whew, some places we went. And he always referred to this business as Bed Bath & Yonder. He always made me chuckle when he called it that, but Bed Bath & Beyond. They're in a financial crisis. They filed for some assistance there, and they're going to be regrouping to try to save the business altogether. They're closing an additional 150 stores in an effort to save the company. We wish them luck. There's a lot of folks that got affected, and we all know where this stems from, going back to the pandemic when people just weren't out. Businesses couldn't sustain it, and sometimes it takes a couple years before it really takes effect on a company to where they just go, we can't make it anymore. We've tried. There's a lot of businesses that never made it to headlines that lost out on this. Our federal government, hard at work, wasn't it? Oh, Texas. Interesting this morning. You know, they've been sending busloads up to New York and Washington, D.C., and letting them have a feel of what it's like to be in Texas with people that aren't United States citizens hanging around. Yep. So far, they've spent about $12 million, which is chicken feed to what it really cost a state for people coming in that aren't U.S. citizens. They've started sending buses to Chicago. Welcome to the party. Y'all will get to find out what New York is now figuring out, how Washington keeps whining, wanting the National Guard to take over. And you just have a few hundred compared to the thousands upon thousands that enter our border every day. Build that wall, that's all I'm saying. Oh, and if you don't agree with me, just wait a little while. What's yours is theirs, and it'll end up that way. We all know how this ends. We've got to protect what's ours. The land of the free. Let's hope we keep it that way. We have so many leaders now that have taken the American dream so far from where each of us think it should be. The American voter. You can change all this. All that's coming in November. Whether you love the way the country is, well, go vote for that. But if you disagree with the way our country is being run, I beg you, I urge you to go vote. If you've got somebody in your house that's not going to be in town that day, make sure they vote absentee. Make a difference. One person can't make a difference, but all of us together can. And that's the only way, sitting back and going, well, I can't do anything about that. You can. Take it one block at a time where you live. Make sure everybody that's in a 1 mile radius of you goes and votes. Now, again, it doesn't matter political, how you feel about it, who your neighbor is. Make sure they vote. Sometimes right decisions are made when you step in that voting booth. We'll talk more about this morning also. As we look at this, another child has died in the United States being in a car. We're at 21, if anyone is counting, across the United States of children left in cars that have died from heat stress. Gosh, we hate that. Coming up, we'll take a closer look at the forecast here in just a moment. I hope you'll hang around. We'll find out what this weather is going to do. That's next as we begin your day. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, or conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. As the days get hotter, Sanders Gas reminds you to get your air conditioner tuned up. Sanders Gas can repair or replace your whole unit, whichever you need. Talk to Sanders about a tankless water heater now and never run out of hot water. Find out how easy and affordable it is to cook on gas stoves. And those backyard barbecues are coming. Don't run out of gas. Get yours refilled today. Sanders Gas, since 1946, 611 26th Avenue South. 601-693-4054. And welcome back. Let's take a quick look at Meridian Honda radar there as we scan across the area there. Absolutely no rain. Why? It's sunshine forecasted for us today. Headed for that high of about 92. We do still show that fog up here in northern Mississippi. It's looking good. Now let's get into your forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our good friends there, thank you all so much. In 1951, the record high today was set at 102 degrees, 1951. The record low was set in 46. We woke up to a cool 51 back in 46. That's been many a year or two, hasn't it? The forecast today calling for about 92 through the Meridian area. Not bad there. Sunshine peeking through. 91 up in Philadelphia A, and we'll even hit that at Mississippi State as we look there. To the south of us in Laurel, Hattiesburg, 92, 93, not bad weather at all. Over Brookhaven, about 90. Now let's look at our friends across here in West Alabama as we look. Sunshine as well, 94 at Tuscaloosa as Alabama Roll Tide gets ready for today. We'll hit 92 in Livingston and, 93 over at Demopolis. A great day. All of that. Rain moving in tomorrow. Have I mentioned that yet? Here's what we've got so far is we still have these below temperatures, but that's going to be ending before long. We do have about a 10-day window here of some cooler temperatures with hot weather out to our west making its way across America. As we look to today, and of course our friends at Steele and Wilson Saw Outdoor helping us out with our 7-day forecast, and let's look into what we've got today. Well, here we are. Sunshine, high of 92, as you'll see here, 0% chance of rain today. Now, late in the evening tomorrow, after 1 o'clock, we'll hit about a 40% chance of rain, 92. But as we get to Saturday, all of this changes. All bets are off. Again, in the afternoon, we'll get to a high of about 84 with a 70% chance of rain. 1 degree cooler on Sunday. And again, this will affect you after church on Sunday also. 80% chance of getting wet. So I urge you in between today and tomorrow, if you've got grass to cut, go ahead and get that taken care of. As we look to Monday, going back to work on Labor Day. Well, maybe you got the day off, but it'll be a wet one. We've got going back to work on Tuesday for everybody else, making it a 4-day work week at 60% chance of rain and continuing on Wednesday. Won't stop, will it? Let's go ahead and look all the way through, the 15th. Look at this. Low 80s there. We saw that on the map just a moment ago, and still rain chances in the forecast each day. Not changing much there, is it? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Not a whole lot to look forward to with rain every day. That's why I urge you, if you can, get your grass taken care of today. Make sure that that's handled. Now, what's happening out in the Gulf? We do have our first tropical depression named as we look at this out to the Atlantic here. That's number 5. Who's going to be first here? We got this looking to be also a hurricane, but it will turn, and this is going to most likely go away as well. We'll watch this one. It's a little high to make it to the Gulf, but you never know. So far, it's going to bring rain all the way up here the East Coast this weekend. All these folks here are going to get wet from this as it comes in. Always something happening with these hurricanes as we move into September. We've got a lot of activity still to come. No threats to the Gulf at this point. What is the best time to fish today? Well, we go to Chet's Paint and Body, and they pass along that information for us. Our first major time is going on right now. Okay, it's ending about right now. It was right before daylight. Your next time to get out and fish will be this afternoon about 5 o'clock until about dark 30. If you can hit the water, it's going to be good fishing there. Sunset will hit at 7:27 this afternoon. Wind's going to be calm, becoming northeast around 5 miles an hour this afternoon. So if you're out fishing, enjoying yourself, that's a quick look at it. That kind of wraps up what we've got. We'll be back in an hour and 1 minute from now. We'll bring you the morning show. We'll give you some more in-depth detail of what's going on in and around the nation as Candace makes her way in. She'll have her lipstick ready. Y'all join us. We'll also be on television for our next show beginning at 8. You can join us on Fox 30 right here at Facebook. Share it so others know about it. And also, you can find us on YouTube. Always have a backup plan. You never know when different entities don't work correctly. Join us. Also there on YouTube, if you hadn't liked and subscribed there, click there, join us. Make sure you got a second way to watch. And we're also on Twitter Live every day as well. Many different ways to watch the show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you back here in just a few moments. We appreciate each and every one of you joining us today. We'll see you soon, 1 hour from now.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: